Welcome, family and friends. Thank you, you guys and gals, for joining me at Maria Loves to Talk. Augusta woman accused of holding S, and it ends with X, slave in jail. So as we stated before, these criminals, these diabolical devils, in her case Jezebels, they can do the crime, but they cannot do the time.
More about those 5 people arrested after a woman was found locked inside a dog cage last night. Deputies with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office say she was found inside a mobile home on Nellie Drive. That's near Peach Orchard Road. Authorities have now identified the suspects as Angelica Figueroa, Dawson Weston, DeMichael Dawson, Savannah Piazzi, and Shonna Powell. Their ages ranging from 18 to 29 years old. Will Rio here in the studio now with a deeper look at what they're charged with in this case and their previous run-ins with the law.
Well, I've been digging into this case all day, including talking with neighbors and people who knew the suspects. We found that 3 of the suspects had previous cases in Richmond County. Neighbors say that this isn't the first time cops have been called to that house, and they say that they're relieved these suspects are behind bars. On the 2200 block of Nellie Drive in Augusta, neighbors were able to confirm that this was the home these 5 suspects were arrested on November 29th. Shonna Powell, Angelica Figueroa, DeMichael Dawson, Savannah Piazzi, and Dawson Weston are charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, aggravated assault, and a weapons charge.
I'm glad that I can bring my daughter outside and not have to worry about gunshots going off or anything like that.
Neighbors say this isn't the first time deputies have been called to the home. It's also not the first time we've heard the last name of one of the suspects arrested. Court documents confirm Angelica Figueroa is married to Carlos Figueroa. Carlos is currently awaiting trial in Richmond County after being charged with the murder of Alan Newsome back in March on Ulm Road. We looked into previous cases for every suspect involved and found charges against more than half of them. Shonna Powell has 2 simple battery family violence charges from 2018 and 2019, a terroristic threats charge from 2021, and operating an unauthorized vehicle with blue lights from 2022. Angelica Figueroa has a simple battery family violence charge from 2019. DeMichael Dawson has arson, burglary, and giving false statements to law enforcement from 2017 and theft by receiving stolen property in 2021. As for Savannah Piazzi and Dawson Weston, neither of them have previous cases against them.
We've been dealing with this for like months now. I'm glad they're in jail because we don't have to deal with it anymore.
And we have reached out to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office and the Augusta 911 Dispatch Center to see just how many times deputies have been called to this address. We'll keep you updated as we...
Roommate of suspect Shonna Powell alerted authorities to the cage victim in a phone call. He said he had recently got out of jail and went to Powell's home on Nellie Drive to retrieve his belongings. Remember, what did I share with y'all in the previous video that I did about the mom and son, Impero Barillas and her son, I think his name was Glenn Van Latin. Most of these culprits in this human trafficking is not always the pimp as you would think as a man. Women are heavily involved in running and controlling it as well. Okay, so here he says, upon entering the room, he observed an unknown light brown skinned female that was naked. That was a black woman. See, I remember this story, but I never read it. I just saw the picture going through, again, with so much going on around the holidays. So now I see this was a black woman they were doing this to. She was naked, beaten severely, and currently locked in a dog cage. A sheriff report says she asked him for help. She asked him for help. Powell then told her former roommate that the victim was her H-O ends with R. H-O ends with R. She told this man, Powell then told her former roommate that the victim was her hoe. Yeah, I didn't say the R, just said hoe. Could be Raquel. I can't get over this heifer, this Jezebel diabolical
The suspects in a kidnapping case has died by suicide at a Richmond County jail. The Richmond County coroner says 32-year-old Shonna Powell died yesterday afternoon. Powell's accused of being involved in a kidnapping case where a woman was found locked inside a cage last month. Powell was one of 5 people arrested in the case. The incident report shows the victim was found inside a mobile home on Nellie Drive. Powell had been facing charges including kidnapping, false imprisonment, and aggravated assault.
I am ticked off with this. Human trafficking, abuse, and violating women's bodies and rights, and also of kids. How many other people did these jokers do this to? I see here 2 white chicks, a light-skinned black one with a look like a clown, look like Bozo the Clown with blondish red hair. I see a white dude with kind of sandy blonde hair, and I see a black guy. There's no way one little woman can fight off 5 people, okay? Unless she's got Jackie Chan, Mike Tyson skills, but no. This is, prayers goes out to this young woman. Prayers go out to her as well as the other women in the previous video, the human trafficking, the mom and the son that was human trafficking people. This just, I don't know, just ticks me off big time. A week after a 17-year-old man was found naked and brutally beaten in North Augusta, authorities have arrested 4 people and seized over 2 pounds of drugs. Among those arrested is 35-year-old Raquel Stevens, the same math teacher who was arrested in 2018 for leaving her toddler in care for 10 hours while she worked at North Augusta Middle School. She's a veteran teacher and mother of 3. I tell you that them drugs got people just going mad. In the drug bust, Aiken County authorities began an investigation after a teen was found on January the 3rd laying on the side of Atomic Road unclothed and badly beaten. His face was so swollen that officers could barely understand what he was saying. A sheriff's report says he communicated that he had been in the road all night. That's somebody's kid, somebody's baby. On Wednesday, the assault investigation led to search warrants at 339 Edisto Drive in North Augusta.
Arrested after a minor was found beaten and naked on the side of a road. Aiken County Sheriff's Office issuing search warrants at 2 separate homes in North Augusta and Beach Island in reference to the attack on a 17-year-old. Patrick Stevens and Raquel Stevens arrested on drug and gun charges, along with unlawful neglect of a child. Patrick also charged with attempted murder and kidnapping. Derek Nixon and Ricky Drayton arrested on drug and weapons charges.
Please tell me these diabolical drug dealers who's destroying the community are in jail. Again, like I said, we used to have war on drugs. Now it seems like, it's some kind of war on women, and we got women participating in attacking and hurting other women and destroying the family and hurting kids. Teachers, you're supposed to be setting a positive example. She in with the drug dealers, destroying the community. Yes, that's right. These people are destroying the community. Wow. I'm glad that this child was found and they were able to save him, and hopefully he will, I don't know if these people lured him or he went there to try to get some marijuana, or I don't know, maybe he tried to steal, or maybe they gave him some to try to sell. Now we see how this stuff is getting into the schools, because these teachers, if they're not trying to get these kids in illicit relationships, they out here distributing these drugs to these kids. It's horrible, just sad. Moving on to my last story, and I've been wanting to do this one, and this lady here, they're comparing it to what happened to Shanquilla Robinson. If y'all remember, she went to Mexico with so-called friends from North Carolina, and they, I don't know if it was planned, allegedly. We still really don't know if it was planned attack or if it's just something happened and was a girl fight that happened. So here this says Zkira Kemp, Z-K-I-R-A, Kemp, K-E-M-P, Texas woman's death compared to Shanquella Robinson after conflicting reports by friends, police, and autopsy. So, and this is from Gossip with a B. Once again, we have a case involving the mysterious death of a black woman and the lack of reliable information as to exactly what happened. This time it is a devastating story out of Texas where a mourning mother says she received conflicting information about the death of her daughter, who went on a road trip with friends and was the only one who didn't return home. And this young lady, I believe she graduated from Prairie View College, Prairie View A&M. So here it says, according to 6 News, Jalinda Kemp says her daughter, Zkira Kemp, was last seen alive July of 2022 before she left with friends for a cross-country trip. The next time she knew, she was learning that Zkira had been killed, deleted, in a car crash in Colleen, Texas. But she said the way she received the tragic news never sat right with her.
Last year, but her mother still has concerns about how the crash happened and worries that details may have been left out.
Yeah, this seems validated because there's a lot of questions here. 6 News reporter Adriana Alexander is live for us in the 6 Newsroom with more from the mother who believes she's been getting inconsistent information. Adriana, what were you able to find out today?
Well, Chris, Lindsay, the past 6 months have been extremely hard for Colleen mother Jalinda Kemp. She hopes she can get closure from her daughter's sudden death and have all the information that she needs. 20-year-old Zkira Kemp took a road trip with 2 friends to Maryland in July of 2022. Her mother made sure her location stayed on at all times in case of an emergency. As soon as her daughter's location couldn't be traced, her mother was immediately concerned. She called a friend to see what had happened and got the heartbreaking news.
She was sobbing. She never would say, and then I finally screamed, "Is my baby's dead?" And when I said that, everybody hung up the phone.
Charles County Sheriff's Office in Maryland reported Zkira died in a car crash. But Jalinda says she's been getting inconsistent information from police and the friends her daughter was traveling with.
She told me that even if they had got her out of the car, if it wasn't a paramedic there right then with the type of injury she sustained, she wouldn't have made it. But then that later changed again.
The friends with Zkira at the time told her mother she was driving drunk when the crash happened. But the autopsy revealed that Zkira was in the back seat of the car and had no alcohol in her system. She also told me she was denied the opportunity to see her daughter's body after the crash, and the dental records at the crash site were never confirmed to be Zkira's.
Do you think she's still out there?
I always felt like it.
Conversations on social media about this case have sparked even more questions about Zkira's death. Jalinda is still waiting on a final autopsy to fill in the blanks of how her daughter was the only one to die in the crash.
I don't feel like she's gone. I don't know if I'm holding on to hope, but I don't feel it. I never felt it. But I thought I was crazy. I thought I just didn't want to go, didn't want to let go. But the more I'm seeing all these different reports and the more these people, the police, it's not adding up.
Now, I did reach out to the Charles County Sheriff's Office and they were not able to provide any updated information today. But guys, I will be sure to give people more information as it becomes available because I do want to follow this story as it pertains.
Her daughter was the only person who didn't survive. She said she learned one of Zkira's companions needed open heart surgery after the crash and had 2 collapsed lungs, a fractured skull, and a broken hip. But Jalinda says she saw that supposed crash victim in person and that she has doubts regarding his alleged injuries. Why would somebody lie and say they had open heart surgery and they had a collapsed lung? I mean, I'm not being messy, but I'm gonna go there. Did the mom ask him to show her his medical bills or his stay in the hospital? Did she ask him to open up his shirt to see his scars, his surgery? Why would somebody lie and say something? You know, car looks like it was burned. It says here, and this picture, the first one shows where it happened, and you can also see there's no tree there. And the second picture shows how the car looked after. It's definitely more to the story. So they did say that it was a tree. I think somebody said that her daughter was driving the car and then she crashed, or she was allegedly drunk or drinking, crashed into a tree. And then they said when they found her, she was in the back seat, and everybody else was able to get out of the burning car except this lady's daughter. Zkira's mama told the North Carolina Beat that she later learned the car had been engulfed in flames and her daughter was trapped inside. Neither Michael nor Rhonda tried to get her out, but they got themselves out. I lost it, Jalinda said. I didn't know what to do or what to say because they hadn't told me that the car had caught fire. Jalinda said her daughter was burned so badly that she was unrecognizable. They could not identify her, Jalinda said. She had to be identified by her dental records. Michael had told her that there was an accident, that there were only woods and no house, so they couldn't get help. She said then Michael told her that he was able to save only Rhonda from the car and not Zkira. Jalinda said Michael's story didn't seem real because how could a person with a broken leg, hip, fractured skull, two collapsed lungs, need open heart surgery, be able to get someone out of the vehicle? When Jalinda spoke to Rhonda, her story wasn't any better. Jalinda said Rhonda told her that all she remembered was them all laughing, and the next thing she knows, she woke up in the hospital. She said she remembered being told by her daughter's friend that the accident happened in the middle of nowhere and there were no houses around. They told me it happened in the middle of nowhere. Jalinda said that they were in someone's yard. Jalinda said that as she was getting ready to put her daughter's picture in the ground, a woman came outside the house and spoke to her. Jalinda said she was told that her daughter was killed in a car accident in the spot, and she was placing a photo to honor her. So she's telling this to the lady. Jalinda said the woman told her that a man had come with children the day after the accident and was crying beside the tree, and told her husband that his son was killed in a fire there. Okay. She said the woman told her that the man came out a second time, telling them again that his son was deleted in the fire there, and that his other son was in critical condition, and a girl walked away. And she said, and I said, what? Okay, let me do it again. And I said, what? Okay. Jalinda said the woman reiterated that a man came out the following day with children and told her she and her husband that his son had in the fire. Jalinda said she felt everything was staged and planned and stuff was not adding up. She said that she could not identify her daughter's body, and the medical examiner's office in Maryland told her that she had to, the Maryland's office told, the medical examiner in Maryland told her she had to agree to cremate her daughter's body before they release it to the funeral home. I never heard of nothing like that before. So they holding her child hostage for her, against her. So here she says, they will not release my daughter's body to the funeral home until I sign the cremation paperwork. The autopsy report stated that the 3 foot 3 inches body they received, right forearm was greater than the left, and both legs were amputated. However, Jalinda said that when she was shown a photo of a body that was said to be her daughter's. That body had legs and contradicted the written report. That is so again, Lifetime. I see a Lifetime movie here. It's just a lot of contradiction, a lot of he say, she say. Jalinda says she wonders if her daughter is even deceased. At this point, I'm like, is my daughter even dead? Jalinda said there was no 911 call and wants to know who called 911 and how did the police, fire, and EMS get to the scene. Who called 911? Because I was told there was no 911 call. Jalinda said, where is the 911 call? The North Carolina Beat is looking more into Zkira's alleged death and all involved. Gerald will be interviewing Zkira's mom. Then it says tomorrow, Tuesday, December the 6th. And it says, follow me, Gerald, on Instagram. I will be following him. This is too sad. These people up in prayers, Miss Jalinda, for her child Zkira, also for the other young people that was in that car accident, because right now, I don't know either. I don't know what to say. I'm confused. I'm confused like her, because I don't like, for me, I don't like to be lied to. And with something like this, we're not lying, about cookies. Hey, JoJo, did you eat those Reese's? Hey, Karen, did you take my ice cream? This here is serious. We're talking about someone that was in a fire, someone that was in an accident, someone who is possibly deceased, or was this a kidnapping or what? Or why would the lady, Michael's mom, not tell her that my husband, or this is just really weird. This lady, Miss Jalinda, I don't know if she's gonna watch my video. You need to get a private investigator and lawyer up, because something is not right. And again, prayers. And I can't stop saying that when you are leaving to go on a trip, or your kids, your husband, your man, I don't know if he's working on the oil rig, he's a truck driver, you need to send the prayers, the white light with him. Anoint your kids, anoint your household, anoint your car when you drive. And I saw these Indian people in India, and it showed how when they would buy a car, even the car salesman, they will put flowers. You got some lying, deceitful snakes, Jezebels, and warlocks pretending to be your friend. And the parents, as we have seen, they will defend their kids to the end. Kids doing wrong. And these parents will sit up there and defend them to the end. So hey, you guys, leave me the comments. Stay healthy, blessed, and happy.